It is. It's going to sound terrible, and that's all right. I don't care. If it hurts your feelings, good. But there are some very un-American citizens. I hate to say that. It doesn't match, but it's true. Some of you people have no idea, absolutely no idea what you're doing. I'm talking to ones that are that are interfering with ICE, that the ones that are lying. Oh yeah, a bunch of you idiots on here to call yourself a news station. You ain't news shit. Propaganda stations, all you are. Lies, 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 lies. You don't like it? The hell with you. That's what you are. You're propagandists. And that's shit that doesn't stand. It should never stand in this country. Now, when Obama was elected as President of the United States, I disagreed with him. I disagreed with what he stood for. I disagreed with everything he did. I kept my mouth shut because he's the President of the United States. And you do not talk bad about the President of the United States when he's in office. The only time you heard me talk bad about president was Biden, and the reason that because he was never president. Not after at least after the first year he wasn't even there mentally. All right, so yeah, I voiced it out loud and clear on that one. But you people want to cut down the man that's bringing this country back the way it should be, back to the American people, back to law and order. Want to complain? All right, let's talk about it. Do you know the orders and laws in this country? Do you have any idea how that works? Just asking, just, I mean, it's been a long time, I agree. It's been a few years. But I did learn something. In the 8th grade, I did. They had a thing called the Supremacy Law. The Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Article 4, Clause 2. It reads this way: federal laws, the Constitution, and treaties are the supreme law of the land, meaning they override conflicting state laws, establishing a clear hierarchy where the federal authority takes precedence over state laws and when there's a conflict. This principle is known as preemptive. Ensures a consistent national legal framework. So state courts remain although courts remain the final arbitrators of state laws. State laws. Those state laws they can never override a federal law. Now you got that. You understand what that means. All right? Now, you got some fucking governors out here that never read the Constitution in their life. You got a whole bunch of Democratic senators that threw the Constitution out when they were in Democratic senators. They threw it out the door. They don't want it. They're trying to get rid of it. That's what they want to do. They want to take all your rights, everything you're guaranteed under the Constitution, do away with them and put you under one world order. Yeah. WEF. You know, the ones that Trump said to kiss his butt. Yeah, he did. Basically, he told them that. He says, no, we're going to be ourselves. We're going to be America, and we're going to be a sovereign nation, and we're not going with your global trash. And you people should be backing him up 100% on that. No, you don't know that. You got to believe all the trash you hear on television and these idiot places online. Yeah, believe all you want. You know that Governor Pritzker or whatever, the fat guy. He said he was going to call out the National Guard on to fight the ICE agents. All right, okay. The National Guard, take an oath of office, same as a active duty military that I took. And it says, I do hereby acknowledge to have voluntarily enlisted of this day, blank, blank, in the year, blank, blank, National Guard of the state of, and then, for a period of, blank years, under the conditions prescribed by law, unless soon or discharged by proper authorities, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to them, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the Governor of the state, and the orders and officers appointed over me according to the law and regulations, so help me God. Ladies and gentlemen, that means the President of the United States is still the Commander-in-Chief of the military, be it State Guard, active military. He is the Commander-in-Chief, and they will obey his orders. And under the Supremacy Clause, federal law overrides any state laws, so that does that in. You got that. You understand? All right. Now, you go out there and you do this. You go out and what was it? Oh, I know what it was. Oh, yeah. There it is. Yeah, I got it right here. Okay? Now, you go out there and you demonstrate. Well, somebody online said, one senator said, it's your right to demonstrate. Senator dipshit, show me. And show those people out there where it's your right to demonstrate. It's not in there. You won't find it anywhere in the Constitution of the United States. That's not your right. The First Amendment, because that's what he was quoting. The First Amendment reads, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or the press, that's the real press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble. Peaceably to assemble. That's it. That's your right. And to petition the government for redress of grievances. Write them down and send it in. That's your right. That's what you have. Nothing about protest and any of that. It's all illegal. You want to go? You want to turn this place into a war zone? That's what you're doing. You want civilians to be killed? That's what you're doing. I carry a weapon. I do. I carry a concealed weapon. A very large concealed weapon, but I carry a concealed weapon. When I carry that weapon, I don't break any laws. That's something with me. I haven't broken a law since I quit drinking. And that's many, 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 many years ago. Going on 53 this year. But if you're carrying a weapon and you break a law, like break a law, okay, you're a felon, right? You carried a weapon, you became an armed felon. Uh-oh. As an armed felon, you best surrender your weapon on demand. Give it up. That's your right. Now, if you want to fight, you want to argue, you're going to get shot. And that's legal. Because they're in fear of their life. You got 7 officers or a bunch of officers around the guy, and he's saying, well, I'm going to reach for it. Somebody's going to shoot him. One of them, because they're afraid somebody in the group is going to die. And they will fire. And that's exactly what happened. Now, you want to support the Democrats. Democrats can't tell you a man what a man is or what a woman is. They can't define what a woman is, for Christ's sakes. CNN can't even define what a black and a white man is. It's pictures in front of them. But you believe everything they want. You've been calling Trump a Nazi, you're calling all the mega Nazis. You have no idea, none, absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You have to go back. You have to go back. You have to study what the Nazis did. You have to go back to the 1930s. That was mentioned today. Yeah, 1930s. Yeah, you better go back and find out. The Nazis under Adolf Hitler used a one-channel little tiny television. It was a brand new thing. Everybody had one, but it was a little 9-inch, little tiny 9-inch television. Everybody glued to it watching it. He used that. And the radio to brainwash everybody. Everything that his Nazis did at that time, and I've made a list of it somewhere. I've got a list of it, the things that he did, and they compare to what's going on now, and they match, and that's the Democratic Party right now. And part of that was a little, okay, again, I called you sideline so-called newspaper propagandists. Well, Hitler had his propagandists, the one that did all that brainwashing. His name was Joseph Goebbels. And he did a good job of it. And he said this, he says, if you repeat a lie often enough, people will believe it. And he said, and you will even believe it yourself. And there it is. That's the Democratic Party. And another one, the one you probably haven't heard of, his name's Karl Marx. I don't know if you ever heard of Karl Marx. He was the father of communism. That's what they called him. In 1880, I think 1880, around 18. He wrote his little agenda, and it was, accuse your enemy of what you're doing as you're doing it, and so confusion. Well, the Democrats have been acting like Nazis, so we became Nazis. Why? Because they're already doing it. That has continued today. All through Biden and Obama and all that. That's what we're called. All kinds of ugly names because they were doing the thing then, and they still are today. And you idiots believe everything you hear on that television. That's fine. But be warned. You better take a real close look at what you want for this country. I want my great-grandchildren, and I got a bunch of them. I got 10 and one or more on the way. That's 11 great-grandchildren. I want them to grow up in a very free country. I want my daughter and to grow up in a free country. And that's what I want. You people that don't understand. You follow the law. You follow the law. You don't interfere with the federal or local. You don't interfere with police officers. Now, ICE are a federal law enforcement. They are enforcing federal law, immigration law. They are a federal enforcement law arm. And you do not interfere with them. If you do not interfere with them, they're not going to interfere with you. You can lie, make up stories, and fake your videos, and I've seen them all out here. It all comes out at the end, you know that. But it's up to you. But you better take a look at what you want for a country and where you're headed for, and believe in what you believe. Because right now, a bunch of you are believing a lie. And you're fighting for a lie. You go out in these demonstrations and you get arrested. And I think, personally, I think they should arrest every person out there should be arrested, given a minimum of 3 times and 3 years in prison. That's for standing in front or blocking or whatever. Now, if you hit them or just, then it goes up. It can go up to 10 years or more. But simple, getting in the way, 3 years. I think every one of you should get 3 years in prison. And that way you all lose your right to vote forever. Boy, that would make it nice. All you liberals lose all your right to vote. That would be super. You don't belong voting for a country you don't want. You don't belong in a country if you don't want it. You get the hell out and you don't let the door hit you in the ass. Now, I probably get a bunch of people. I don't give a damn. I'm getting close to 81 years old. I got a long time to go. I'm going to be around a while, and I am not going to shut up. I am not. I'm going to keep preaching. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's all I do. Now, I got my rules. This, by the way, came when I was stopped drinking. I don't lie. I will not lie. I will tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth from what I've seen, physically seen, in my lifetime, which has been long and through many things, and what I've read in real books, not news. I read real books, and not on Google, because Google changes with the breeze. That I hate Google, but look up the Constitution. You can find it on my site at Stony Man 1. Paul Murray, that's Merrey, Paul Murray at 1945. Paul Murray at 1945. That's my handle, all that on X. And under articles, you will find the U.S. Constitution. Yeah. And the meaning of all that. It's all in there. Read it. Get to know the Constitution, and then you will understand that these idiots up there in Washington, D.C. have not read it, have been going against it constantly for the last 14 years. And you haven't cared. Not one bit. Because you don't know it. That's why they never teach it anymore. Hello, one from Marx. Stupid people are easier to control. That's why the education went. So they can control you, and they're doing a good job of it. You have fun. I hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Bye.